Coach, I guess first question, difference you've seen in your offensive line after that could actually have a normal offseason?
Yeah, I think they worked extremely hard this offseason, especially this summer. A lot of stuff they did on their own, which was voluntary. And actually, I thought they competed hard with each other to try to make each other better. So a lot of improvement, weight room. Credit goes to the kids and Tyson. We're not playing with 285-pound kids anymore. I think every single one of them are over 300-something pounds now.
As far as their development and the scheme and all that, what kind of growth have you seen there from those guys? Because a lot of these guys were playing last year too.
Yeah, I think last year, there was a lot of bombs going off. I obviously needed to coach better. We needed to play better. We needed to get better as a unit. Not really our standard. But what I've seen is just a more willingness to understand what we're doing and buying into how we're doing stuff. I think the buy-in's been great. This off-season, the classroom, the meeting room. So hopefully that will translate into us playing better.
Quincy Sharp kind of starting out as center. Just kind of what went behind that move.
Last spring we kind of messed around with Q, just trying to develop two centers. And the more we did Q at center and moved Cole to guard, Cole seemed more comfortable at guard and Q seemed more comfortable at center. Not being able to, he's got such long arms, he's able to get his hands on people. Again, that's something that he kind of did. And then talking to Cole, obviously Cole, they're both competing for that spot, but we're going to put the best five out there. But Cole kind of likes, Cole's a headbanger. I mean, he wants to go 100 miles an hour. So a lot of times at center, you got to be a little bit more calm and be a little bit more cerebral in what we're doing.
Coach, what do you think makes Charles Cross an effective player for you guys, and what's he like after a year in the system?
I've been fortunate to be around some pretty good ones in recent years, and he's no different. I think the biggest thing he's done for us is he's a no-nonsense kid. I mean, he doesn't say boo. I mean, I'd have to start a conversation with him to get him to start talking. And his hunger to work hard. For such a highly touted kid coming out of high school, a lot of kids don't do that. They all see the glitz and glamour. He could care less. He could care less what's going on, and the good ones do. The good ones do.
How is he, there's this draft talk about him this year. He's draft eligible and all that. How does he handle that outside noise?
Could care absolutely less. I mean, he really could. We don't worry about it, and that's not something we're really talking about. But when I ask, he could care less. He goes, he didn't even know. So that's who he is.
You mentioned kind of having to push him a little bit to get him talking. I mean, when it comes to games and him on that line there, do you feel like there's still a step he could kind of take, being more of a verbal leader, or do you like him kind of just doing his own thing?
I think they're all different. There's some things he did this summer. If a guy would step out of line, he'd start woofing at him, and that shows me, he really wants to be good. He just wants to win games, and so you don't try to make somebody be something they're not. And I think a lot of kids just look at how he works and stuff, and they try to emulate that.
What have you thought of Albert Reese so far coming in as a freshman?
King of the North. He almost got demoted to Prince of the North. No, he's good. He's just got to relax his upper body. He's such a big, strong kid. And now he's running with our twos. I mean, he's competing a little bit, so we're going to let him develop and see how we can progress him down the line. But been impressed. We'd like for him to not be so robotic, but that's okay. That's what we're here for.
Did you kind of see some momentum start to build with this group and confidence start to build towards the tail end of last year?
Oh, absolutely. I thought from the Alabama game on, they started getting a little bit better. We had the Auburn game got out of hand on us, but as it kept going, they started getting better. And all that's relative. I mean, them being able to physically handle it, playing in this league, which is such a defensive line dominant league, and that's what it is. And they put all the work in that room over there to try to get themselves ready.
Scott Lashley's, he's been around the SEC for a long time, was in a great program, obviously, at Alabama. And this is really his first chance to really get in there and get some major reps with first team and all that. And I know last year he was hurt. How have you seen him kind of progress over the last year?
He's taking his time. He's getting a little bit better every day. The biggest thing for him is just to play the next play. It's not going to be perfect every single play. And I think with a kid like him, sometimes he tries to be too perfect. And when you do that, you can get off the rails real fast and start, you hold yourself to such a standard that you have to move on to the next play. And so that's one of the things we're working on right now.
The spring and the summer, obviously, you have a return to kind of a normal off season, but just in general, the guys being able to be together, go out and get food together, as opposed to last year. I mean, do you kind of see that helping in terms of chemistry on the line as well?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's offensive line play is about persistence and communication and bonding. I mean, you got to be one group. 5 equals 1. I mean, that's who we are. And to not, I mean, you guys can't imagine trying to sit on a Zoom call, trying to install an offense. And again, I had to figure out how to be a better coach and do that stuff, and that's not an excuse, but it was kind of comical. You got a kid laying in bed looking at a Zoom thing, and you're fussing at him, and you're trying, and then it is what it is. But I've enjoyed being around these kids and watching them, work hard.